very small show. We have a couple of matches, some hard-hitting matches that dig deep into what we've had going on this season, last season, the seasons leading up to this. So, an impromptu edition of Frostbite. And yep, I figured it would surprise you because having written 17 segments for Red Snow, I went and wrote some more. This is a very small show. It's probably not going to take longer than 15, 20 minutes to read. Maybe less than that. None of you were aware of this. All matches are angled. I've chosen the winners. I've put your characters in matches. I've chosen winners. Any complaints, come see me in private. But I have angled these matches for this show because I didn't want anyone to know it was happening and I weren't going to ask anyone to roleplay for them. So, shall we dive into TerraVision 255, otherwise known as Frostbite? Dean, 17 segments are not enough, Mason. You would be right. We're kicking this thing off, ladies and gentlemen, with a grudge match. It's a standard match. It's Jesse Williams versus the Sandman. We click. Static covers a screen and our play symbol appears in the bottom right-hand corner, followed by a whomp. A massive right hand slams across the jaw of the Sandman, sending him barreling across the ring as Frostbite kicks off unlike any show ever has before it. That's right, it's Jesse Williams, it's the Sandman, and they're fighting. The bell sounds and we're straight into our first match of the evening, right on the precipice of Red Snow 7. This one is personal. It's always personal. Jesse Williams rushes over and drives the Sandman into the corner, delivering thrusting shoulder blocks into his midsection that double him over. He violently slams his fist down, rallying the crowd with every shot. The Dream Demon pushes him away, storming out of the corner with a clothesline. No, Jesse ducks, springboard, booyah! Big boot out of midair by the Sandman takes Jesse out of his stride, stopping the booyah in his tracks. Welcome to Frostbite, kids. It's a show before Red Snow, and you'd better believe it's going to be a fucking brawl. The Sandman pulls him back to his feet, pulling him close to sand. Chokeslam. No. Jesse leaps out. He rushes straight into the ropes, ducking another big boot attempt with a baseball slide. He pops back up. Uppercut. Another. Sandman drops to his knees. Jesse hits the ropes and torpedo drop kick to the dome. Groovy eclipse, baby. He covers. 1, 2. No, not quite. The prince gets back to his feet. Can you imagine how much he wants to end this? Can you imagine how much he wants vengeance after Jimmy Sarter and his uncle? He's never beaten the Sandman. He's never won against him. The Dream Demon slowly gets back to his feet, stumbling around and into a clothesline. No, he ducks under, scooping Jesse up and dropping him neck first over the top rope. Williams this time stumbles. Deep sleep. End of days. He covers. 1, 2, 3. No, the prince kicks out again. The Sandman is back to his feet, ready to end this himself. He's about to pull Jesse up when low blow out of nowhere. The referee admonishes Jesse, but he doesn't give a fuck. He gets back to his feet and powers up his gauntlet. Right hand against the canvas. Thrusters on. The Sandman is kneeling. Torpedo. Gauntlet assisted. Boost it. Kill it with fire. Good fucking night, Sandman. Jesse leaps into the cover. 1, 2, 3. It's over. Jesse Williams finally gets a measure of in-ring vengeance on the monster that killed his uncle and his best friend. Your winner, finally, after at least a year of trying, is Jesse Williams. Yeah, I kind of felt like I wanted to end on a 255 as well. But as I'm building the hype for the show, I'm thinking about what matches I want to have and what characters I want to have in them and angled. Um, I understand that there could be people upset by having their characters in angled matches that they've lost. But I think there's many ways that you've got to feel about the characters that do get the results that they need. And Sammy says a very nice result because I think we all know the one thing missing in the story was Jesse Williams overcoming the Sandman. and now one night before Red Snow, he's finally done it, and I think that's very important for the character, very important for the story. So, congratulations to Jesse William. Yeah, you do, and Jesse deserved that. And Sandman is such a massive monster that you can have that without it really touching the Sandman as a character. So we move on to the hype train. Now, our segments for this show are gonna be a bit different. Um, we are building for Red Snow now, folks. This VT segment, this is called Imagine. What would you do if your back was against the wall? Like, really against the wall. Someone like Pyre, it might not seem like much. It might seem insignificant, even. She's a strong, independent ass kicker, and one half of the most dominant tag team champions in recent OSW history. But the reality is far different. She lies awake at night, tormented. Let's put it into perspective. Simon murdered people with fire and blamed her for the act. She was hunted down, brutalized, and attacked for something she didn't do. He did it. She was held captive and forced to join the person who did this to her. She was forced to go against her best friends, family, and ask them to work for someone she'd not soon piss on if he was on fire. Imagine how that eats her up inside. Imagine how that makes her feel. In the lead up to Red Snow, men and women on this roster kick the living shit out of one another. They prepare for a life and death battle at the biggest show on the biggest night of their lives. Pyre isn't doing that. What do you think that means? Imagine walking into the most dangerous, most amped up night of your life, with nothing but the desire to kill the person tormenting you most, yet knowing all you've got is a fight that doesn't end when the bell sounds, a fight that doesn't end when you close your eyes. Imagine that. Pyre versus Simon. Red Snow 7, tomorrow night. Next on the hype agenda, Voynich, Sigil, Death. It all started at Octane 213, September 7th, 2020. Sigil introduced himself to Voynich, and the rest, they might say, is history. A rich history. The collector asked for his help to find something, and he agreed. They became friends. A tag team, even. The collector's edition. They became tag team champions. Their bond was such that when Sigil brutally murdered Malice and Winona at Heartbreaker of that year, Voynich couldn't believe his eyes. He'd made him an accomplice to an unthinkable act. Everything changed. Since then, Sigil and Voynich have been involved in a war. They've traded victories, murdered one another, and in Voynich's case, lost friends. In the mind of Voynich, Sigil was a parasite that has proactively destroyed his life. He made him accomplice to murder and stole his innocence. He killed Darby Sorrow and has shown no mercy or even an ounce of remorse for the things he's done. For Sigil, Voynich was always a means to an end. He didn't think that once he'd accomplished that end, he'd be back at Red Snow for a second time in 2 years, fighting his former partner. But here he is, and it might be the last time either of them step inside a ring again. You may think it's unlikely that they'll kill one another. Sigil was too powerful. Voynich is too resilient, but underestimate their hatred for one another at your peril. This is Red Snow, after all. This is where anything can happen. These men want nothing more than to see the other dead. They've proven that. They've taken each other's lives, and tomorrow night, when they step inside that ring, you'd be a fool to think there's not a chance they might just do it again. For the last time. Tomorrow night, Voynich versus Sigil. Death match. Red Snow 7. And we revisit one of the hottest storylines of last season, I believe it was, in a grudge match, a standard match, Death Note versus Simon. There was a time when these two men were gunning to destroy one another. Well, tonight, one last time before Red Snow, they do battle. Pyre has accompanied Simon to the ring and stands looking on from the outside. They lock up, Death Note taking Simon into a side headlock. He runs him off into the ropes, dropping to prone as the Taskmaster comes back. Simon leaps him and slides immediately to the outside like a coward. Death Note rolls outside to join him and gets run straight into the fucking ring post. Pyre came from behind as he landed, and Simon barely moved out of the way of that, but nods in appreciation at Pyre, who waves him off in disgust. He pulls Death Note back to his feet and whips him straight into the ring steps, sending them and he flying across the floor. The fans boo as the Taskmaster cockily straightens his jacket and pulls Death Note back up again, only this time he's caught by a crunching headbutt that rocks him. He turns quickly, slamming Simon headfirst into the ring post before turning his attention to Pyre, who backs away, and now Death Note really does want some revenge. You know he wants it. The author follows her around the ring, only here comes Simon with a huge clothesline to the back of the head. The Taskmaster invites Pyre to stomp away at him, and reluctantly she does, both of them delivering shots to his midsection and head. When finished, Simon rolls him into the ring and covers. 1, 2, kick out. That's not quite going to do it. You got to remember, even Pyre's got a little bit of skin in the fight because at Red Snow, it's Death Note versus Simon. Sorry, it's Death Note versus Luke Storm. So she has some skin in the game. Might not be much, but she has some. The Taskmaster gets back to his feet and pulls Death Note up, signaling for the end. Gambit, spinning back fist, no. Death Note ducks underneath, scoops him up. G, T, S, gather thy soul. That has to be it. Death Note covers. 1, 2, 3, no. Pyre pulls the referee out of the ring. That should have been it. Death Note goes to argue, walking over to the ropes as the referee slides back in. Roll up, tights, 1, tights, 2, tights, motherfucker, 3, no! The referee recognizes the tights are being held and stops the count. Simon angrily lets go and admonishes the referee as Pyre hops onto the ring apron in protest. Death Note gets back up. He runs Simon straight into Pyre. They clash heads. Pyre falls from the ring apron. Death Note turns him. Sister Abigail, turn the page. It's over. He covers. 1, 2, 3. Death Note picks up the huge win before a career-defining match with Luke Storm. Pyre almost helped Simon to victory, but in the end it was their clash of heads that cost him. The Taskmaster rolls to the outside to check on her, but the look in his eyes isn't sympathy. It's rage. It's rage. Oh, we are missing for some reason an image, so I'm not sure why it does this. I gotta be honest with you, it's really frustrating. For some reason, it decides not to load images. It's really annoying. Sorry about that, guys. Probably saw a spoiler for a segment coming up, but I think it's next anyway. So our next segment is called What If, and it is about the Williams family. What if you were raised to fight monsters? What if every moment of your upbringing was geared towards destroying the evil that walked this earth? What if that was your purpose? What if? What if a member of your family became the monster? Can you imagine how Jesse Williams feels deep down in his soul? The torment both he and his father must be going through? Every fibre of their collective being will want to destroy Joanna Williams at Red Snow. Every ounce of them will want to put her down like the monster that she is. Yet, what if? What if they can save her? What if they can turn back the clock and restore the pain in the ass sister Jesse knows and doesn't like? Do you think Ash Williams would want that? Do you? What if? What if they can't? What if there is no saving Joanna Williams? What if she's beyond saving? What then? What if Kane Nightlord refuses to let her be saved? Yes, he doesn't like his sister. Truth be told, he can't stand her. They don't have a bond. They weren't even raised together. No, their relationship isn't at all like that, but they're family. They share blood. And his job, as it always has been, is to save people from monsters. What if he can't save her? Ooh. Ladies and gentlemen, it will be Ash and Jesse Williams versus Joanna Williams and Kane Nightlord tomorrow night, Red 7. And if you didn't know the question, I can give you that. It's what if. Yeah. Get hype in your pants, get hype in your penis, get hype in your asshole. Because we're not done yet, folks. Frostbite is still happening. It's going on right now, and if you missed it, then fuck you. The next one is Cody Williams and Seesaw, and it's called Family. Family. To every person with a soul, family means everything. It's the air that they breathe. Cody Williams is no different. We may know him by many different names, but at the end of the day, he's just a man, a family man. Since Seesaw took his family, Cody Williams has felt like the air has been sucked out of his lungs. Like no matter how hard or deep of a breath he took, he just couldn't suck enough in. Tomorrow night, I'm sure you'll think he'll survive. I'm sure you'll think that Cody Williams will walk into the most dangerous structure in OSW history and do what no one else has done. Win. It's a feel-good story you crave. It's the happy ending we all want to see. There's not a person here that doesn't want to see Cody hug his family tight and take them home safely. And let's face it, the fact we want it so much, the fact we're even talking about it, makes us feel deep down in our soul that it's possible. We have hope. Cody Williams doesn't. He's not walking into the toy box with the belief that he'll survive. He doesn't even care about that. He feels like he hasn't took a breath in a month. He's already dead, but his family, they're alive. And if he wants to keep it that way, one way or another, he has to step inside. Maybe he'll catch his breath. Maybe he'll die like the rest. We hope it's the former. And no, it's the latter. Tomorrow night, Red Snow 7, CXDY versus Seesaw inside the toy box. No one has survived. No one has beaten Seesaw there. No one has escaped becoming a toy. CXDY, Seesaw, toy box. Red Snow 7, tomorrow night. Don't miss it. And now for our main event of the evening, ladies and gentlemen. It's debut galore, baby. Allow me to introduce to you two of the newest OSW signings for season 6. Allow me to introduce to you in the blue, Vigor, and in the hat, Cronoa. They're taking on Nigel Royal and Callahan in this, our main event of the evening. We're one night away from Red Snow, and here tonight we've already seen two fantastic matches that bury some old rivalries. Well, this one is a little different. Before we head off the air tonight, we're going to see some fresh blood in action. On one side of the ring, Vigor in the blue jacket lines up alongside Cronoa in the hat. They're taking on Nigel Royal and Callahan. They're not a tag team, folks, but tonight they are. If you think she's a witch, you're wrong. Might be best to serve judgment on the gimmicks until you see the merch, but we'll see. Cronulla and Callahan start this one off. They lock up in the middle of the ring, Cronulla grabbing the arm and immediately turning into a hammerlock. Callahan tries to reach around for the escape, grabbing Cronulla by the head and flipping her over, only she lands on her feet. Immediately she bounds off towards the ropes, coming back to duck a clothesline and gain more momentum off the next set, leaping crossbody block. Down goes the reporter. She pops back to her feet and pulls him back to his, driving an elbow into his face. Another. The Harbinger slams him back into the corner, running out as fast as she can to the opposite before storming back. Big splash. No! Callahan moves, and she slams chest first into the corner. Think of the titties! Roll up. 1, 2, kick out. Not enough. The reporter quickly tags in Nigel Royal, who bandaged hand enters the fray. As Cronulla gets back to her feet, he grabs an arm. Dungeons of London. He's looking for the crossface. No! Cronulla refuses. She punches at his midsection, forcing him to release the hold before slamming into the ropes and coming back with a massive spinning heel kick. The historian needs to make the tag. She gets back to her feet and tags in Vigor. Vigor runs, immediately leaping into a basement dropkick that decks Royal as he gets back to his knees. Nigel barely knows what's hit him as Vigor is quickly back up and into the rope, shining wizard across the back of the head. He covers. 1, 2, kick out. Royal kicks out. This exhibition isn't something Royal and Callahan want to lose, but it could go either way. Vigor gets back to his feet and pulls Royal up, slamming him into his team's corner where he makes the tag. Cronulla enters and immediately starts kicking the shit out of Royal whilst Vigor holds him. These two aren't a tag team, but they're holding their own here tonight. The historian backs off, allowing Vigor to run as fast as he can right into her. Talk to the boot. Super kick. But not just any super kick. The very super kick belonging to Chase Hero. What the fuck? She calls that deja vu. Royal goes down in a heap, but here comes Callahan. He clobbers Cronulla with a clothesline, turning his attention to Vigor. Newsflash! Yakuza kick out of nowhere to Vigor. The reporter gets back to his feet, utterly proud of himself. Coffin drop! Cronulla off the top fucking rope with a coffin drop to Callahan. She borrowed that from Darby Sorrow, and she calls that your demise. What the fuck is going on? She pops back to her feet, just in time to see Nigel Royal. Dungeons of London! Dungeons of London! The crossface is locked in. The crossface is locked in. Surely Cronulla has to tap. She has to tap. Her hand is so close. So close. Standing shooting star press. The quick thrill. It's fucking Vigor. Vigor breaks up the submission just before it ended the match. The expression incarnate, that's his nickname, gets back to his feet and grabs Royal by the hair. Lumbar check. Demon Vigor. Good fucking night. Vigor rolls to the outside, leaving Cronulla to get back to her feet. She's ready to end this now. Nigel Raw has had enough. He's done. She could pin him for 1,000, but she waits for him to slowly eke back to his feet. The dazzling, exciting, extraordinary Mr. Moody. Bullhammer, your demise. He stumbles, has already been written. Your demise has already been written. Running elbow to the back of the head. Turns Nigel Royal inside fucking out. She covers. 1, 2, 3. Welcome to old school wrestling. Cronulla and Vigor pick up some unbelievable traction in their first ever match and win here in old school wrestling. These two new wrestlers are going to be ones to watch next season, but for now, let's go to our final VT before we end the show. Your winners, Vigor and Cronulla. Two fantastic debuts. Look forward to seeing these characters next season. And of course, after Red Snow, we'll tell you who handles them, but not before. I'll take a drink of water. I might need it after that. We're ending the show with a segment that is probably very fitting. This one is Viper Roberts and Two-Face. It's called Changes. And this is how we end Frostbite tonight. It's funny how you think you'll always be you. How nothing can ever change that. The truth about life is that people are always evolving. They're always adapting and changing. Their taste in food, clothing, and music will vary across a lifetime. They're always going through changes. But these changes, they never quite feel forced. They're natural. So, what happens when someone forces you to change? What happens when someone attempts to end your life and fails so miserably that all they do is change it? All of it. From the contours of your face to the feeling in your heart. What happens when you don't recognize yourself anymore? What happens when the man or woman you once were is so far removed from who you are that even the people who love you don't recognize you anymore? Alton Whitlock didn't want this change. He knew who he was. He was trying to be a good man. He was trying to rid himself of the poison that seeped into his ear. Then a snake arrived and bit him. The poison started flowing once again. From the moment Viper Roberts exploded that limousine and set Alton Whitlock on fire, he forced changes upon the man that weren't natural. And now, Two-Face looks to reclaim who he once was, who he can be, who he chooses to be. When you look at Two-Face, you see a monster. That's what the scars on his face tell you. When you look at Viper Roberts, you see a man. The truth is perspective. And Alton Whitlock intends to change it. And we cut. Tomorrow night, Red Snow 7, Alton Whitlock versus Two-Face. You're not going to want to miss it. Believe me. And that, folks, is the end of Frostbite. TerraVision episode 255. The last weekly show, you could say, of the season. It's gonna be it's gonna be a really cool show, guys. I think that we're all gonna enjoy Red Snow a lot tomorrow. You know, you're not gonna want to miss out on that. That's for sure. I hope that Frostbite tonight, that the extra words put into that helped build hype for the show. I did write the whole thing myself this week, including all the matches. I wrote those too. So I wrote the whole of Frostbite and the whole of Red Snow actually as it goes. I don't know. I don't know what made me do it. Because obviously there's a lot of ways you can hype Red Snow tomorrow night, and there's a lot of hype surrounding Red Snow tomorrow night as it is, because it's going to be a massive, massive show with some massive matches on a massive card that's going to take hours to get through. Mike Lane has got a lot of reading. He's got 17 segments and about 16 or 15 matches to get through. You know, it's going to take some time. And this little 3,000 word show hopefully has gone some way to making you guys really excited about a few matches that some you probably weren't underwhelmed by, maybe some you were. You know, I understand that the storylines for, Pyre and Simon may be a little subdued by comparison to storylines like, you know, Roberts and Two-Face. Hopefully these give you a little more oomph, a little extra push. 6-hour runtime, yeah, don't blame you. It's going to be a long one, that's for sure. I've still got 2 segments to write for Red Snow that I'm going to write tomorrow. This 3K takes my writing for this week up to, hold on, before the 2 segments come in tomorrow, 8,500 words. That's not too bad. It's not too bad. That should go over 9K tomorrow once I finish off the 2 segments that I have to finish. But there we go. Biggest show of the year, last show of the year, and I'm gonna take a nice break after this is done for a few weeks where I'm not gonna write a damn thing. So well folks, I hope you are sufficiently hyped. I hope you are very well and truly hyped for tomorrow night. In the chat before we go, I'd like everybody here to name a match they can't wait to see that is not their own. Zach's in with a toy box. He can't wait to see Cody Williams versus Seesaw. Hayden seconds that. Gray in with Cal Gable versus Israel Grimwolf. King Grim. Alex basically went with both of those. Oh, okay. Damo's in for Simon versus Pyre. Sammy can't wait for Death Note and Storm. And Matty is riding the Sigil Voynich train. That's good. I'm glad to see some variety there because you don't want it to be stacked too much in one favour. So it's good that there's at least 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 matches there. That people are really excited to see, and I'm sure the rest will excite as we get there. Whitlock Roberts, naturally, of course. That's another one. Toy box for me. As a fan, as just a general fan, looking at all the matches on the card, if I was watching this like it was AEW, um, I'd be most excited to see probably 3 or 4 matches on the card. So first of all, as a fan, I'd be really, really excited to see CDXY versus Seesaw, which is obviously one that's been written down here quite a lot. I'd be very excited to see Cal Gable and Israel Grimwolf. I would also be super excited to see Helvig, Dark Lord, and Banzan, because that's just an insanely physical match that I think, if you've ever tuned into WWE to watch Brock Lesnar, I feel like that's what that gives you, but it's not Brock Lesnar squashing someone, it's 3 Brock Lesnars in the ring. And I think the big meaty men slapping meat, the thick boys, I think that's a match that I'd be really excited to see because you're not going to see them. No one's going to watch that match expecting them to be suplexing each other around the ring. You expect them to beat the shit out of each other. I mean, we haven't really talked about that, but whilst we're here, we can. Helvig, Dark Lord, and Banzan, you are big meaty men slapping meat, thick boys in the middle of the ring, thunderous fighting. um, that's going to be a huge match that I'd be really excited to watch if I was just a fan from the outside looking in. I'd really want to see that. You know? Yeah. We get the Barbie Kiosaurus out. Don't even know what accent I was trying to do then. But what we should also do before we do go anywhere though is we do need to remember something. Often these matches get cast aside just a tiny bit. And it's not because we don't care about them. It's because these matches aren't built by storyline. Every Red Snow, the world champion defends their title against the Ring King winner. Every Red Snow this happens. We often, we often don't pay a lot of attention to the story, and it's not because we're disrespecting the handlers or the characters involved. It's because every other story on Red Snow is built. It's probably been built from Wrestle Heroes. Okay, I started building Viper Roberts and Two Face from Red Snow 6. I continued that when I wrote for them on Wrestle Heroes. I've continued writing them for a little bit, then handed it to Mike Lane, who's continued with it since then. You're going to look at that and think, okay, that's happened for nearly a year now. That's huge. Let's talk about Israel Grimwolf and Viper Roberts, because at Red Snow 7, The OSW World Championship will be defended. I think most of the credit, Matt, all the credit really goes to Lena because I set it up and told him what I needed. And he just went and done it, and he's added so many layers to that he should be really proud of the story and really proud of what you guys are saying about the story. So I feel like deserves a lot, all the credit really. But in terms of Roberts and Grimwolf, that story hasn't been built. That's not a story, but it is an OSW Championship match, and it does take place at Red Snow. Let's talk about that, guys, because they both deserve a nod. World champion, contender, the Ring King. Who who here thinks the Ring King can upset the champion? Who here thinks that the champion will retain? How are we all feeling about that? Obviously, last year Newton walked in to his brother, and then Sandman fucked that up for everyone. Viper is on a hot streak. He's been doing really well. I actually think Grimwolf is on a relative hot streak. I think he may have lost maybe one, maybe to Moody. Yeah, it's going to be interesting. Yeah, I think he lost once to Moody Grimwolf, so I don't think you can, write him off for maybe like a lack of victories. But should we do the tail of the tape? I like the tail of the tape. In this instance, it's purely just win-loss records. Let's go and have a look and see what these guys are rocking, shall we? So for the season so far, Viper Roberts is 10 and 11. 10 wins, 11 losses. He's one of the more even people. A lot of people are on the negative this season. But Israel Grimwolf is 12 and 8. 12 wins, 8 losses. Grimwolf has had 20 matches. He's 12-8. And Roberts has had 21 and he's 10-11. That's the tail of the most recent tape. Yeah, we all wonder why you'd think that, Alex. Alex isn't short on a few bob of confidence, is he? He's not short on a few bob of confidence. It's a huge match that doesn't get the spotlight everyone else does because there isn't a massive storyline to build it. But these guys are going to be in wars. Grimwolf and Gable, Two Face and Roberts. They're going to be in wars. Before they get to that title match, those two guys are going to have had fucking wars. It's going to be surprising and it's going to be amazing there's anything left for them to fight when it comes down to it. And here's the other thing, guys. Let's not forget that these poor bastards, they go and fight for the title. Alex and Rob, poor bastards, I'm calling them. They're going to fight for the title. One of them picks up the win. Woo! Yay! I won! Woo! Then this happens. Let me resize that shit. And then this happens to them. I mean, that's some fucking bad luck, right? When I can get it going. Fucking Streamlabs. So one of them either wins or retains the title and then goes to defend it there. I have an announcement to make about this. First of all, Sammy, we will soon find out whether or not it can be done, because at the end of the day, Sammy did retain, and that was probably against the odds, but he did retain, and Viper came second. What if Viper retains the title, comes here, retains, and Sammy comes second? Could you imagine? It would be insane. It would just be insane. Um, I have decided to do something with Wrestling Heroes that's a bit different than last year and I have a good reason for it. I'm going to make Wrestle Heroes just about the singles titles, and I'm going to take the 2 tag team championships out of the equation for Wrestle Heroes, and I do have a good reason for that. Whilst we do start the season with a decent hard reset, and that's why we do that, is that after Red Snow, we start a new season, um, we do a hard reset, and all the titles are free. Basically, they're defended and they're up for grabs. They're free for anyone to win. The reason why I'm taking the tag team championships out is because BMF have actually added some prestige to title belts that didn't have a lot of prestige before that. I feel like putting those title belts on the line in this, the odds of the tag team champions retaining their titles are slim. It's 2 people that have to finish in those specific positions to retain those titles. So the chances are BMF will lose their tag team reign, even if they walk out of other titles, at Wrestle Heroes. And that would ruin what happens when they finally do lose those championships. Because they've held them for such a long time, and they defended them so successfully for that time, and they've added prestige back to those titles, in my mind, it doesn't make sense for them to be on the line in Wrestle Heroes. Now, they won the titles back in July. It's now December. They've defended them 6 times against some really stiff competition. And when somebody does beat them for the title, and we have a new set of tag team champions, it's going to be a big deal. Because the titles have been built up to be a big deal. Wrestle Heroes would defeat everything we've done in that regard, everything they've done to defend, everything I've done to challenge them. It would definitely ruin that. So I'm going to take the tag titles out of Wrestle Heroes, and the 4 titles on the line in Wrestle Heroes will be the World, Double Feature, Rewind, and VHS. Those 4 will be on the line. And thanks to Zero, the VHS will be the 2nd championship this year. So it will go World, VHS, Double Feature, Rewind. That'll be the order of the titles for Wrestle Heroes at the beginning of next season. Yep, we're going to have plenty of new characters. If you missed Frostbite, you missed Vigor, and you missed Cronoa. Those are 2 new characters that could earn themselves a spot in the match. There are more characters that didn't get spotlight there. A few more, so don't think that's it. There's definitely going to be some surprises coming. Yeah, Cronoa was interesting. Vigor is really interesting. Unfortunately, when it comes to the match and it comes to Vigor and Cronoa, it was easier to get across Cronoa's gimmick, which is effectively the historian of OSW, in the sense that she sort of writes the history book of OSW, so she knows everything. That's why she uses other people's moves, because she knows it inside out. Because she's like the historian. I feel like she's written the history of OSW in the world log, if you like. So if you imagine that you have people writing the history of everything in the world, her aspect of that is OSW. Very clever. Vigor. I will tell you a little bit about Vigor, but I have to quickly just go and research what I've been told. Hold on. So this may change. I'm sure the handler will let me know next season. But as it currently stands, Vigor was born in an alternative timeline where creative expression is banned. So he's learned to see the positive in everything. He lives life to excess just because in this world he can. He comes from a world with no art, music, movies, television, or parties, and he tends to live a hedonistic lifestyle to make up for lost time, and that often gets him in trouble. So those are the 2 characters we've got coming in. The handlers aren't going to tell you who they are between now and the end of Red Snow. Yeah, you can chuck guesses around if you want, Alex, but you're probably not going to get it right, in fairness, unfortunately. these characters came as quite a surprise to me when the handlers pitched them to me. So, it is what it is. But they're going to be very, very good characters next year. I can't wait to see them. We've got a couple more that I can't wait to see as well. We'll, like I said, you guys keep pitching. You keep pitching, but we'll see. I don't know. This is 2 shows in a row now. Joe told me he's going to be here and he hasn't fucking shown up. So, I don't think Joe gets a second character. Yeah, by the end of Red Snow tomorrow, as things unfold throughout the show, people will probably announce themselves here, there, or somewhere else. So you'll figure out who's who. That's for sure. But there you go, Red Snow tomorrow night. If you missed it, as Dawson did, we had a little surprise tonight, Dawson. Um, we had Frostbite, episode 255 of Terrorvision, a free match card, about 3K, with segments on it to hype storylines and matches for tomorrow. Um, I would say it was a really cool little show, and from the reaction of the chat, I think people were really hyped up for Wrestle Heroes based on it. So it added a lot of hype. I will post it to the forum so you can go read it yourself. And of course, when this show's done, you can go back and watch me read it if that's what you'd rather do. One way or the other, you will get to see the show. You didn't get to see it live, so unlucky. But you did. You will get to see it. Yeah, Damo. Damo thought misread your a segment of yours in which he thought you were saying that um, Mordecai is tethered to the world, and I told him no, that's not the story. That can't be right. And I went back and read it. And it turns out that it was just interpretation of what you said. I think maybe a misread word or whatever. Because Mordecai, the story wasn't that Mordecai is tethered to the world, and you weren't told that. A bit misread him. So at first I thought, what the fuck was going on? He wasn't told to do that. And then we went back and had a look, and we realised the error, which is good. I'm glad you enjoyed yourself, Gray. I know Red Snow probably lacks a little bit of ooh for yourself because your storyline is against Callahan, who, although very well written by Alex, that story I must say, um, takes on less shine simply because Callahan bailed. Um, but I'm glad you're hyped for things like Gable and Grimwolf and Two Face and Roberts and Storm and Death Note. I'm glad you're hyped for a lot of that sort of stuff, and I'm glad you're gonna attend the show. But Callahan dies, it's worth it. So, yeah. Spoiler alert: Gray becomes Callahan instead of Tenchu, and Callahan kills Tenchu. Done. What I'll do is I'll speak to Rob and I'll get Rob to write a segment in which Callahan kills Tenchu, and I'm sure he'll bring chainsaws, fire, a nuclear bomb, probably, knowing Rob, right? He's here somewhere, I'm sure he is. I saw him earlier. Sure he's here somewhere. Just a just a general death. Yes, when a nuke gets dropped on Callahan's head. Oh yeah, Rob wrote it. Never mind about the fallout. Never mind. Yeah, Rob wrote that. Yeah, Rob wrote that. Yeah, I remember that. It just make sure it's clear he's dead. Yeah, I'll chainsaw his fucking head off, mate. It's fine. I'll take care of it. I'll chainsaw his fucking noggin off. It's all good. But yeah, in fairness to Rob, it was very clear he was dead. It was also very clear I'm never asking Rob to write a segment in which he kills someone again. Oh my god. it, it was OTT memories though, right? I mean, it should be. It's like a running OSW meme now because it's one of those things that happened that shouldn't happen. Yeah, it's iconic now. It is. It's an iconic moment, a shocking moment that shouldn't be iconic. That totally fucking is because, well, fuck yeah. And you couldn't replicate that on purpose. I don't think. If you tried to replicate that on purpose, it'd be so obvious that's what you're doing. You know, it's one of those things that really should never have been written. It was, and for that reason, it's iconic. But it can't be replicated because if you try to do it, it doesn't have the same. Good old short. We've made some over the years. Can you believe it's 7 years in February we've been open? This is our seventh Red Snow this year. We're in our seventh year, so when it gets to February 22nd, when it gets to February 22nd, we'll be then going into our eighth active year. Yeah, probably right, Alex. 8 active years. That's ridiculous, isn't it? Bruce, why is it? Why are you switching accounts, Sammy? Weren't you Tarzu earlier? Now you're back to Maldolo. I swear you started as a different name. Good old Tim Apple. Well, Matt, let's hope there's another fucking 4 to come, mate. You know? Why stop? Why stop, mate? The good thing about OSW, and the one thing that I love, is that OSW has helped build a lot of friendships outside of OSW, which we have with our game nights and things, which I think is really cool. There's a lot of people on the roster that I really am gutted aren't more involved, and also gutted that we don't get to know more, and that I'm gutted don't find or make the time to come to certain events and things that we could have fun on. For example, you know, I'm really gutted we don't see Mel and we don't see Cal. I'm really gutted that on a Saturday night we have a great bunch of friends playing, but there's so many other people that are really cool people that you'd love to, you know, see make time and come and play with us and get to know us because it adds a whole new layer to everything. It really does. 'Cause I'd love to be able to sit there and play games with Clark or play games with Hayden. And I understand there's difficulties, of course. You know, there's a lot of people that I'd love to play games with on the side, and there's aspects of OSW that are missed by people that just either write role plays, show up, post, and leave. And I understand that some people are too busy, but it's just a shame. You know, it would be nice because we're building really good friendships outside of OSW that aren't that you know that OSW isn't needed for, right? You know, for me and Damo, me and Dawson, me and Matt, and me and Alex, and me and Zach, and the list goes on. We don't need OSW to have our friendships. That's what we've got, but it is because of OSW that we've built them. So it would be nice to have that with more people. And it'd be nice to have more people show up for the game nights. I said game nights, not gay nights. Don't get excited, Dawson. Jesus. I could just hear his dick getting hard when he thought I said gay nights instead of game nights. I'm not singing, Sammy. Oh, I'll tell you what. I'll before we leave, I will sing you a song. You want a Christmas song? Okay, hold on. Let me see if I can find it. Do this one for Chris. Dashing through the snow in a one-horse open sleigh. Jokers on the go, laughing all the way. The bells on penguins ring, make Riddler wanna fight. Two-Face wants to flip a coin and sing this song tonight. Hey, jingle bells, Batman smells, Robin laid an egg. Batmobile lost a wheel and Joker got away. Hey, jingle bells, Batman smells, Robin laid an egg. Batmobile lost a wheel, Joker got away. Hey! You want an advert? Why? Why? Why would you want to redeem an advert? you want an advert? I don't even know how to do it anymore. Honestly, I don't even know how to do ad time. How do you do ad time now? Matt, you're gonna have to tell me. I don't know how to do ad time. I don't remember either. Like you say, yeah, do ad time, bitch, but I'm like, I don't know how. Somebody's gonna have to tell me how. Oh, I know. I'm back. I'll do it. Okay. Apparently, pre-rolled ads are disabled. I don't know what that means. I'm gonna start a prediction. Here we go. I've started a prediction, guys. I don't know how this works. Prediction started. Will Dawson still blow chunks after red snow? Yes or yes? Predict. I haven't got a thing. I can't do it. Submissions are closed. Okay, how do I do the result? Choose outcome. You guys win loads of points. Well done, everybody. Prediction result is yes. Of course, it's yes. There we go. Well, if you'd have bet more, you'd have won. I think you might have won more. We'll try another one, shall we? We'll. Okay. New prediction coming in, folks. Bet all the coins you've got. Very simple. Will Red Snow be awesome? Just waiting for someone to say no. Oh, can you? That's cool. I mean, I'm just fucking around now. But choose outcome. Yes, I agree. Well, before we go, maybe we should see if there's anyone. Oh, I don't have anybody I know online streaming that I could actually raid us into. Believe it or not, like no one. Shocking, man. Maybe I should just like raid us in somewhere really shit for a laugh. But no one's online these days. Used to always be someone to wait. There used to be always someone online to raid, like always. People suppose they're not anymore.
Peggy 18.
Peggy 18. I don't know. Is he? I haven't spoken to him in ages. To be fair. Oh, 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 I'm gonna. Oh, guys, I'm gonna. Oh no, what's the name? Damn it! I was gonna rate. Oh, come on. Try and remember the name. Ah, nah, I can't. That's a shame. Alright, looks like I'm just gonna have to end it then, guys, unfortunately. It's gonna raid us into somewhere hilariously awkward, but I can't. Well, tomorrow night, Red Snow 7. You don't want to miss it. 12 o'clock UK time. Don't know what time that is for the rest of you Nuggets, but most of you will be probably playing games with me, Damo, Zach, Alex, Dawson, probably Matt as well. I imagine there'll be quite a few of us. They'll be playing something or other, so we'll all be in a boot. We'll be all in a boot. Hope you enjoyed Frostbite. Hope you feel adequately and sufficiently hyped for Red Snow. I know I am, and I will see you all tomorrow in chat for Red Snow 7. Thank you for coming, folks. That's all, folks.